Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, This and That. I know in yesterday's inaugural video, I should say, I had said that the frequency of the videos would be about once a week, and that still remains to be true. When I was looking over my schedule earlier today, I had discovered that due to the Labor Day holiday weekend and it was a short week at work, that it just meant that my schedule for the rest of the week is going to be insane. And I discovered that I had the time today, so I decided to seize the opportunity in the day and to make my second video. But now, don't go thinking like this is going to be a daily thing, because that ain't going to happen. We're still looking at once a week, but I guess consider this a bonus. Anyway, glad that you're here and you're joining me. Today's topic is going to be about identifying scammers on online dating sites. Um, there's all types of scammers. There's scammers that are looking for money. There's just regular catfish scammers. And then there are people that are just have nothing better to do and they decide to wreak havoc. It's gotten to the point now where I can pretty much look at a profile and determine whether or not the person in the profile in and the pictures is really who's on the other side, and that just comes with experience. I want to say it was 2015 or the very tail end of 2015 that I started getting back into the whole dating scene. I had taken a number of years off to sort of focus on my career in school. So dating wasn't a huge priority for me then. But in 2015 it did, and it was towards the end of 2015, beginning of 2016, that I kind of really started getting back into it. And it on a regular basis, and it has been quite the education. So there's just a couple of tidbits that I want to pass along on to you guys, just so that you have it. I mean, there's probably a ton of articles on how to identify them, but this will be sort of like a cheat sheet, if you will. So if the scammers that you're encountering, and unfortunately you're probably going, if you're doing online dating, you're probably going to encounter them. Whether it's they're looking for money or they're looking just to be jerks, or they're just doing the whole catfish thing, you're going to run into them. It's inevitable. But don't get me wrong, online dating totally works. I have friends and family members who have found their spouses happily married, have families, madly in love. Everything is great. So it totally works. But it really just is with dating in general. It's a numbers game until you find the one. So the ones that are usually looking for money or financial gain, they are usually the ones that identify themselves as widowers. They're looking for somebody to marry. They always have a child. It's usually just one, and they're 10 years of age or younger. The child is not with them overseas. They do work for an American company, but they are not an American citizen. So when they do come to you for the money, it's because the company, because they're not an employee, they can't get help. So because you are in love with them, don't you want to help them get back not only to America, but also to their family? And the child is usually staying with an extended family member, whether it be a sister or an aunt or somebody like that, but usually never a grandparent. And speaking of their parents, there's usually, like, the parents are deceased, and a lot of times they do say that they claim to be an only child. So when it comes time for them to ask you for money, that's the reason why, because they have nobody else, or the person that's staying with the child is a really good friend and not so much a family member. So just be kind of mindful if you run into those and at some point that they ask you for money, that they should be able to totally get back if they had run into a legitimate issue or a challenge while on the job. They should still be able on their own without contacting somebody that they've only known for a few weeks or maybe even a month or two. So just be sort of aware of that. Look to see if they're being very vague, because a lot of times they'll say that they're overseas, but they won't tell you exactly where. They also don't have a timeline for when they're going to be returning. They're usually a month or two into the project, but they have a ways to go. It could be anywhere from another month to another 2 months. So just be kind of wary of that. They will usually contact you in the overnight hours. Usually when it would be, if you're on the Eastern time, where I am in Massachusetts, if they were contacting you at 8 or 9 o'clock at night here, it would be, oh, I don't know, 3 or whatever o'clock in the morning there. And they'll say that they'll just be getting in or they just had dinner or whatnot. A lot of times too, what they will do, and you have to be mindful of this, is that they want you to send a picture, but they don't want like a general picture that you had taken a few, like a few weeks ago, a few days ago, whatnot. They want you to take a picture immediately, right then and there, in that moment. And that's the reason for that is because they're actually looking to see if they can track your location, because they want to sort of do some research before they come to you with the money or whatever the issue is that they desperately need your help on. Now, sometimes it won't be that they're a consultant working for an American company. Well, sort of, but the other time too is that they will say that they're in the military and that they're deployed in Afghanistan and they're coming home within a month. Now, for me personally, this pisses me off because on both sides of my family, they have served in all branches of the military. So that just ticks me off when they say that. So when I am approached by them, well, in the beginning, I would tell them because we're a very patriotic family, that I would say that, and poof, they disappear. So I just knew that they were a scammer. And in general, you just kind of have to look to make sure that they're answering your questions, because a lot of times what they do is they will lay on the flattery, they will lay on the compliments in lieu of answering the questions, because they don't want to answer the questions because they don't want to be caught, basically. One of the other things that they do tend to do is that they will try to immediately get you off the site, and they will try to get your email address. They'll usually tell you that when they reply to you in their email, they will say, due to my schedule, I'm not on here a lot. I don't get a chance to come to the website. So just email me here or text me. And a lot of times they want you to give them your number. Don't ever do that. Always ask for their number and then go ahead and run a check on their phone number to see if at least the first name, if it kind of matches with the information that they have told you. One of the sites that I use, I'll link below, it's Intellitus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's great. It's $5, and to do your due diligence and get peace of mind, it's great. Let's see what else. The one word answers pisses me off. So you'll be trying to get a conversation going and it will literally be one word. Now, that's not necessarily a scammer. That's just what I'm finding to be guys in general. But anybody that's not engaging in the conversations, no, they're kind of not worth your time. Basically, if they're laying it on thick and going back, I know I'm kind of jumping around here a lot, with the scammers, especially the ones that are saying that they're working overseas, they will lay it on really thick. In my experience, the very first scammer that I had encountered that I hadn't really identified way back in 2015, it was because I was so out of practice that I kind of got whole caught up and I'm like, oh, love at first sight. I do believe that that does exist. I think it's rare. It's not super common, but I do truly believe that that does exist. But not over email, not over a span of a week. I hate to say this, but you almost have to be suspicious of everybody. But if you run the checks on their cell number, I'm telling you, you can uncover a lot. I uncovered that the guy was married and the phone was listed in his wife's name. I'm like, peace. It's not pretty. It does take work, but I still do it, and it's because I am an internal optimist. I do believe that love is out there. So that's why I still continue, although I have kind of gotten to a limit right now where I'm sort of not really jazzed with the whole prospect of online dating or dating in general. So I've kind of deciding to take a little bit of a break, and this is actually due to a massive heartbreak that I just recently went through. Damn near killed me. It really did. But that's a story for a total other day. Just to basically, as all the other articles have said, just be very careful, kind of go with your instinct, listen to your gut. Oh, another good thing that you can do, especially if they say that they're working for an American company, but they just happen to be overseas somewhere, just wandering Europe, and you can do it even here too, if you're talking to somebody that's from the same country as you, is to run a Google search on the image, like they do in that television show, Catfish TV show. They do have a lot of interesting tidbits and tricks, and the Google search is one of the things that I had learned from watching that TV show. I gotta stop with the ums. I will get better. Confident I will. But going back to the Google searches, they are super helpful, and once you know how to do it, it's super easy. I did find a good article online, and I will link it below for your reference. And so that kind of that's sort of it. Just don't ever assume anything, and whatever you do, whenever you meet, make sure to tell somebody, a family member, a girlfriend. I've even told coworkers, trusted ones, that I knew that would have my back. You could even, not only when you get there, to say, hey, I got here, I will text them saying, this is the guy's name, this is his handle, this was the site, this is where we're going. And I will text them when I'm there, and I will text them when I am leaving, so that they know that I am safe, the date went well. And I have had men get very upset that I'm texting them. And keep in mind, I'm not texting through the date. I text when I get there. And there was this one dude that actually said, well, seeing as you're going to pay more attention to that person than me. And I said, you know what? We're done. Thank you. Bye. And basically, my advice for dating in general, whether it's online or whatnot, know your worth. Know your worth. Do not ever let anybody ever tell you, because I've had guys say that you're lucky I'm paying attention to you. You would be lucky to be seen with me. I understand that probably a lot of it is either insecurity or nerves, and they're trying to make a good impression. Maybe they're trying to be comical and it just comes off badly. But never, ever doubt yourself. Know your worth and know what you deserve, and stick to that, and you will have a fabulous time navigating the dating world, whether it be online or in person. Okay, so I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.